Our next speaker, Mr. Rajesh Srivastava, is a former CEO, marketing guru, educator, corporate trainer, and now a newly minted author. Mr. Srivastava has led a distinguished career as a marketeer, first at United Spirits, now Diageo India, and later as president of JK Helen Curtis. He now spends his time imparting his knowledge and experience in institutions of higher learning such as IIM Indore and SP Jain School of Global Management. He recently authored the book The New Rules of Business, which talks about how some of the most admired brands of the 21st century appended the traditional business paradigms of the time. He will share an address on the topic Everything You Thought You Knew About Leadership Requires Rethinking. I request you to take the virtual stage, sir.
Gully, thank you for inviting me, and friends, thank you, for giving me this stage. So let's quickly get down to what I wish to share with you. Everything that you thought you knew about leadership needs to be re-examined, and I'm going to present to you my case why I think so. The first point, this world is about leaders, and many of us spoke about leaders. Now, what does the definition of leader mean? If you have a leader, then by definition, the leader has to lead. And if the leader leads, then there has to be followers. So a traditional organization before 2005 was what? There was an organization, there was a leader, few set of people who actually took decision and everybody else followed them. But come back to the 21st century and more importantly to COVID times. Do you want an organization where few people take decision and rest of us follow? Which essentially means, do you want a leader and a company packed with followers? Or do you want leaders at all levels, which is the basic concept of distributed leadership? So in 21st century, this concept of one leader packed with followers possibly is getting stale, is getting dismantled. What is coming in its place is an organization which has distributed leadership, which means a company packed with leaders. So you will ask me, listen, how can we achieve this miracle? And the answer is simple. You as a leader have to stop being a leader. Who's a leader? A leader is a person who leads, and therefore followers, when they have a problem, come to him and say, hey boss, I got a problem. And what does the boss do? He gives a solution. And then the follower goes back, implements it, and problem resolved. And this is how the organization progresses. This is the traditional concept of a leader. The leader is supposed to have all the answers. Now, as I said, that system is becoming irrelevant. So the leader has to transform. So what should he transform into? One word. The leader should transform into what I call a coach. What's the difference between a leader and a coach? When a follower comes to the leader and says, I got a problem, the leader listens to the problem and gives him a solution, and the leader and the follower goes back and implements. What has the leader created? He's created a person who's dependent on the leader for getting solutions. He's created a dependent relationship. Let's come to the coach. What does a coach do? The coach is here when the person goes to him with a problem. The coach listens to the problem and does not give him an answer, but poses a question to the person who's come to him with the problem, poses a question. And when the person who's posed the problem tries to answer the question, then he gets the answer to the problem he was facing. And when that happened repeatedly, what has the coach done? He's made this person independent. And not just one person, but almost everybody who comes to him. Therefore, if a leader becomes a coach and he makes the line reporting to him independent, the line below also acts like a coach and makes the people below them independent, what will happen? In due course, the company will be filled with not leaders, a single leader and followers, but will be packed with only leaders. And in 21st century, when you have this distributed leadership concept, this concept will come in handy. I would recommend one book. Unfortunately, I don't have the cover, but I'm showing you this book, Trillion Dollar Coach. You must read this book. I sincerely recommend that you read it. So the first point that I wish to tell you is stop being a leader, transform into a coach. When people come to you with problem, don't give them a solution. Pose a question to them. When they answer it, they will get the solution. In due course, they will become independent of you and they in turn will become leaders. Let's go to the second point. The second point. As a leader, what are you doing? You're giving away your power. And therefore, one of the hallmark of 21st century leader, whose one trait is being a coach, is he has to be a giver and not a taker. He has to be a giver, not a taker. You will be astonished and amazed, and you will say, hey, listen, givers come last. Isn't that what the popular opinion is? Givers come last. Of course, givers come last. That is what Adam Scott in his book Give and Take says. A research was done. A research was done by Adam Grant, which is mentioned in this book, which says that we try to find out about leaders. So they went to organizations and the leadership style was a bell-shaped curve. What they realized is what you also feel, or most of us feel, that the laggards, people who were failures in corporate, they made up the bottom 15%, the extreme left side of the bell-shaped curve. So you were right. The laggards, the people who were losers in an organization, were givers, and they made up the left side of this bell-shaped curve. But in this book, he goes on to say, do you know what? The outliers, the top 15% who actually led the organization were also givers. So what was the finding of this? Givers also make up the laggards and they also make up high performers or leaders. What's the lesson for you or lesson for me? Be a giver. When you give, then you set into motion two things, reciprocal principle and likability principle. If you do good to others, people whom you are trying, so to speak, within quotes, I'm just using it in a limited manner, lead, they will be so happy with you that they will put you on their shoulder and put you up there. So the second thing that I would request you to do is quit being a leader, become a coach. And when you become a coach, don't be a taker, don't be a grabber of everything, but be a giver. The more you give, the better coach, within quotes, a leader you will become. The third point that I wish to say to you, the biggest job that I feel is when you become this new leader that I'm referring to, your job is not to go and do the job, but your job and the most important job is to provide meaning to the people who are in your community, who are working in your company. What does meaning mean? Let me just go back to 1960s and John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy said to the Americans that we'll put a man on the moon, my apology, we'll put a man on the moon and bring him back safely by the time this decade ends, which is 1960s. And they did put Neil Armstrong on the moon. Go back to early 1960s when John F. Kennedy, gave this, let's say, this mission statement. But how was it decoded by people who were responsible for putting a man on the moon? John F. Kennedy was once visiting the NASA headquarters. And what he found was there was a janitor who was sweeping the floor. He looked at the janitor, it was late night. He says, janitor, isn't it too late? You are still doing your job? The janitor looked at John F. Kennedy and said, Mr. President, you figured it all wrong. I'm not sweeping the floor, I'm putting a man on the moon. Now that is your job. The job that John F. Kennedy did to provide purpose to this janitor is your job, to provide a purpose and a meaning to every single organization so that they come not for the salary, not for the job, but they come to work for themselves. That's the third point. Let's go to the fourth point, and that is the COVID times. Your job now in the redefined leader is not to do day-to-day job that the rest of the people in the company will do. Your job is very simple. Your job is to basically anticipate black swan events. What is a black swan event? An event that has never happened in the past, and you don't know if it can happen in the future, but you still have to anticipate it, my friend. You still have to anticipate it. So you will ask me, hey, has anybody anticipated it? Of course, of course, of course. Let me give you one example. World War II. In World War II, as it progressed, more and more iron and cast iron was required for the defense purposes. And at that time, all car engines were made out of cast iron. And as the war prolonged, more and more cast iron was diverted towards the war purpose. And therefore, one day the government regulation came that no cast iron will be given to car manufacturers. One overnight, they had no cast iron. And if they did not have cast iron, they did not have car engines. If the car engines could not be made, cars could not be made, car could not be sold, their business stopped overnight. That was a black swan event for car manufacturers, right? This was Second World War. So what did one person do, which is Mr. Honda? He looked around and he identified aluminum as a substitute for cast iron, and he made engines out of aluminum, and that worked out to be more wonderful because aluminum was lighter, therefore it gave better mileage. And today many car manufacturers use that. What's the lesson for you? And here's the question that I want to ask you to ask yourself right now. What if the heart of your business was taken away? Take education. Right now, I'm in education. What is the heart of the education system, whether it's Harvard or IIM or anywhere? Classroom education. And I'd ask myself long back, what if the heart of this education system is taken away? What if classrooms were not there? How would we teach? Let's come to FMCG. What is the heart of FMCG? Distribution. Why do some of these companies control FMCG business? Because they have a very strong distribution network. And I'd asked myself before COVID happened, I mean, I no longer work, but once I was the CEO of an FMCG company, I asked, what if the heart of my business, which is distribution, went away? I couldn't distribute my product. How would I sell? Let's come to entertainment. Did the multiplex companies pose this question before COVID happened? What if people could not come to a single location to be entertained? That is my heart of business, and how will I handle it? Or did any one of these guys, ask them, what if the heart of my business were to be taken away from me overnight? How would I do it? And this question, my friend, is the question that should engage you. Take me as an educator. I have always looked at what if the heart of my business, which is classroom education, went away. I had prepared myself to actually deliver my content online. I started making videos 4 years back. I started writing blogs. I started creating content, digitizing it. Take book. I wrote a book. And in that book, what I had anticipated is what if physical copy stopped selling, which happened in March. I would still continue to sell through various medium, online being one of them, or through webinars like this. So the next question that I want to pose to you is black swan event. And as a leader, have you anticipated a black swan event? Lastly, I therefore want to conclude this by saying, again, it's not my quote. It's a quote from this book, The $1 Trillion Coach. Your designation makes you a manager. Your designation makes you a manager. People make you a leader. Your people make you a leader. And when you become a leader, you should not be a leader. You should transform into a coach so that you make your people leaders. Friend, if I have another 2 minutes, this is where I wanted to conclude. But if I have 2 minutes, I just want to say one more thing, which is very, very important to me. And that thing is, while we lead teams, right, where we say we should coach so that we have a company full of leaders and not followers, where we are a giver, not a taker, where we provide meaning to our people, and where we anticipate black swan events. The last thing that I wish you to remember is that you as a leader, why are you working? Are you working for just a career, fame, recognition, social status? Or are you working with a higher purpose? Do you have a meaning in your job? So I just want to say, you will look at me and say, hey, that's a very nice question to ask. But first, have you asked yourself that question? And the answer is yes. When I started working, I always had a purpose and I had a meaning. And whatever you may call it, my meaning was I wanted to leave India in a better shape than I found it in. I wanted to leave India in a better shape that I found it in, than I found it in. And from the time I have started working till today, this is what I'm doing. I try to create brands, right, which entertain people in and which enrich people's life. So McDowell's Signature, you may have heard of. I give that name. You may have heard of a brand called Bagpiper. Khoob jamega rang jab mil baithenge. We work to make it India's number one, then world's number one. You may have heard of a premix category called Blue Ribbon Do It. We created it. You may have heard of Captain Cook's Salt. इसमें है वही जो आपके मनपसंद नमक में नहीं. And then I was CEO of JK Helen Curtis. We created this brand. They entertain people, they enrich people's life. And finally, the last one that I want to say, I was invited to be the CEO of JK Helen Curtis. Deodorant category in 2002 was 66 crore, less than 100. Today, it is about 6,000 crores. I was one of the first person who said, I'll not sell deo, I'll sell perfume, right? And today, perfume is a generic benefit. And what did I do? All this experience that I gathered across the world, I wanted to share. And therefore, I started teaching. I wanted to give away this knowledge. And you will ask me why? Because I have only 5-10 years to live. But if I can transfer this knowledge to my students, then through them, I will live for another 50 years. And that is what my purpose is. My purpose is to transfer my knowledge to rest of the to my student. And now I have written this book called The New Rules of Business. If you like what I've said, I've written this and much more in this book, my life journey and how great brands are created. Do read this book, because through this, I want to transfer my learning to you. So as a leader, I just want to sum up. Don't be a leader, be a coach. Second thing, be a giver, don't be a taker. Number three, your job is to provide purpose, meaning to the people who work with you. Your job is to anticipate Black Swan event. And finally, if you can only do this, provided you have a higher purpose in the reason why you work. Thank you so much. If I've overshot my time, pardon me. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for sharing your wonderful business lessons in these short stories. Always a pleasure to hear.